Well, as I told you guys a couple of days ago, I do plan on making more videos again. For some reason, the off season, or at least for the Patriots, it's kind of the beginning of the off season, I enjoy making these videos more and talking about the upcoming season. For some reason, that seems to be what I'm more passionate about talking about. Hopefully, I will be more encouraged to make more videos through the preseason and into the season this year. But during the offseason, I get very excited about things like the draft, the coaching hires, the free agency. I'm excited about all of these things. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Today, though, I want to talk about Adrian Klemm, the new coach hire for the Patriots, because obviously we brought in Bill O'Brien as our offensive coordinator, which is just extremely exciting. I want to tell you guys because, well, I made a video about it, so go check it out. I'll put it at the top right. I made a video about it already. I don't want to get too far into that, but Adrian Klemm was Oregon's offensive line and running game coordinator, so offensive line coach / running game coordinator. But I want to talk more recently, or less recently, actually, better yet. He was the Steelers' offensive line and I think running game coordinator as well for a time between 2019 and 2021. So he was a part of some really good Steelers offenses in that time. Their passing game was not quite the same as it was in the early 2010s, but really the running game with newly drafted running back Najee Harris was explosive and consistent in that final year of his time with the Steelers. He was a big part of Najee Harris running for 1,200 yards in his first NFL season in 2021, in my opinion, and they really had some good offensive line play during his time there. They won the AFC North in 2020 while allowing the fewest sacks in the NFL, so that's a really cool statistic. The year before Najee Harris was even on the team, Pittsburgh's 14 sacks allowed were 7 fewer than the next closest teams, so that is really far in the lead of being the number one team there. That is really crazy stuff. And they allowed just a sack on 2.1% of the team's passing attempts. 2.1% of the team's passing attempts were sacks, which is extremely low. The Steelers were number one in the NFL in that category by 1.3%, which is just crazy to think about. A significant lead considering the league's second through 10th best teams were separated by just 1.5%. So think about that. The difference between number 2 and number 10 was actually greater than the distance between number 1 and number 2 there. So that just shows you how big the difference is there. The Steelers went 29-19-1 in his first 3 seasons with the team, or I guess his only 3 seasons with the team, winning the AFC North Division title in 2020. But, like I mentioned, more recently, Adrian Klemm was the University of Oregon's offensive line and running game coordinator. Oregon finished number 1 in all of college football in sacks allowed this year, giving up just 5 in 13 games. That's 5 sacks in 13 games, which is absolutely crazy to think about. That's mind-blowing. Especially in college football where you're playing a pretty wide variety of talented teams. I'm sure Oregon played extremely talented teams, also probably some very trash teams within those 13 games. But I really think this is just an amazing hire. Just given his track record with offensive lines, with running games, it seems like especially offensive line he's really good with. I like a few things that were mentioned in an article I read. First off, it's worth mentioning that Belichick and Klemm needed no formal introduction by any means, as the 45-year-old was Belichick's first ever draft pick with the Patriots, believe it or not, a second-round choice out of the University of Hawaii in 2000. Number 46 overall. So he did play with the Patriots, I think, for 2 seasons. He only played in 10 games. And overall, his career as a player was a disappointment for the most part in the NFL. It is extremely hard to be an NFL player, so to even get to the NFL means you were extremely talented. But as a second-round pick, he was a bit of a disappointment. And he ended up, I think, coaching within like 5 years of being drafted. So he was in his, I guess, upper 20s when he started his coaching career. So he quit his playing career and started his coaching career very early on compared to most people who do that. And I think my favorite part of all of this was in this article I read, in the college ranks, Klemm was viewed as a strong recruiter, which obviously doesn't hold much for the NFL, but with a knack for relating to players. And I think in recent years, we've heard a lot about the coaching staff with the Patriots and how, it's this no fun, strict team, no really relating to the players at all. But bringing in this coach that is known for relating to the players is, I think, a really good and strong factor, having him as a coach, and hopefully a coach for years to come, because it seems like he's an extremely talented offensive line and running game coordinator. Hopefully the Patriots bring him on to do both of those things, or at least the offensive line play. It seems like obviously the Patriots have had a strong running game for years. And they have very talented running backs. I think the offensive line is where a lot of improvement can come, and I think that's where Adrian Klemm brings the strongest attributes to the team with him. I just am really excited about this hiring, and so far, the not even started off season here for the Patriots has been the best case scenario. I even want to say, I think Adrian Klemm was one of the people that a lot of folks thought could be the Patriots offensive coordinator before we hired Bill O'Brien. So we brought in two really great offensive coaches in general to the team, and obviously coaching was probably the weakest part of the team last season, just given all the coordinators and all the coaches outside of Bill Belichick, obviously. Going into this season, it seems like all of a sudden we have a very strong group of coaches. So they have turned that part of the team around extremely quickly, and I'm just really excited to see how the year plays out. I'm excited for the free agency now at this point to see what we do. We have a lot of cap space. Also the draft, where we have many draft picks as well. I think overall we're going to see great improvement on this Patriots team. There's no really room for getting any worse. I think obviously we're going to see a lot of improvement here this offseason with the Patriots, and I am so excited to track it with you guys. So be sure to subscribe, because we will be making more and more videos as more news breaks about the team. Obviously, we have a few weeks until there's anything major happening likely, but I am very excited to talk about all that. So be sure to subscribe, like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below with your thoughts as well, because I love hearing what you guys' thoughts are about this hiring and any other things, maybe even some video suggestions so I can have more videos to make. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.